This is like a little present.
You get to unwrap it, you get to see what's in there.
Oh, this is one of the most tender, fluffy tamales I've ever had. Gustavo Romero, chef. This is such a beautiful array of corn. And I'm really excited because it's something that I'm not really familiar with.
Today we're gonna make tamales, and then we're gonna go through the whole process, starting from the nixtamalization, the grinding, making the dough, and then eating some tamales.
Awesome. I think here in the States, a lot of people, when they think corn, they just think yellow corn, right?
The US is one of the biggest producers of corn in the world by far, but Mexico happens to be where corn starts. We have about 60 different kinds of heirloom corn. And one of the reasons that it's a big movement with Mexican chefs trying to promote the usage of heirloom corn is because it's getting lost. And this is part of our culture. This is the base of Mexican cooking. If you go to every household in Mexico at mealtime, you will find something made out of corn.
Yeah.
In every house.
Yeah.
So if we lose this, then we lose everything.
Yeah. Growing up, did you use all these varieties of corn?
Not all of them.
Okay.
I grew up in Central Mexico.
Okay.
So all the ones that you see kind of long, those are from Central Mexico. Those are gonna be kind of easy to cook, super soft, perfect for tortillas. The small ones, they're a little tougher, harder to grind, so they're perfect for tamales. Your masa for tamal, you want it to be a little grainy so it has the bite.
Mm-hmm. So talk me through the process. Is it just you soak the corn and then you just grind it up and use it?
We start with the nixtamalization.
Okay. And what's that for people who don't know?
Nixtamalization comes from an Aztec word, nix, which means ash. When they start cooking corn, they figured out they add the ashes from wood. It will alkalinize and it will become edible. And then eventually with the industrialization, they started using limestone. We cut a piece of the rock, we put it on water, it actually boils it.
Yeah.
It activates it, and then after that, we use it to cook our corn.
I'm thinking about the first people who've done this, right? Who would have thought? Like, to take ashes, and put it in there. I mean, like, the science behind it, but not realizing what they were really doing. And that's incredible that today you're still using the same techniques.
So we rinse it, so we remove all the little skin.
Yep.
So now it's clean, now it's totally edible. So we're gonna put everything in the grinder. Just pour it on top. It might jump a little.
Why is it important for you to share about corn and what it means to you?
For me, it started a very long time ago when I first moved to the States, and I remember very clearly the first time they say, we're gonna go to a Mexican restaurant. I was very happy, I was super excited. We got to the Mexican restaurant, live music,
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And then we got our food, and it was not the food that we knew. And the one thing that I remember, it was grabbing a tortilla and just be like, this is not what it's supposed to be. And when I moved to Minnesota, and I realized that all the tortillerias, they have machines to do tortillas with flour, but nobody actually does the nixtamalization. So I saw a necessity to show people what we actually eat there, that I think as a Mexican chef, I need to show people what our culture really is. Perfect. For what we're gonna do today, this is exactly what we need. We need it to be a little loose. We need to have consistency because that's gonna give the bite of the tamales. For the tamales, we're gonna add lard or fat. I have a friend that tells me that if the Aztecs would have had butter, they would have used butter instead. But we didn't have butter.
I don't know.
I'm a lard fan.
I'm a lard fan too. Yeah, bro.
So we're gonna add about 20% of the weight of the flour. We're gonna add it on fat.
Okay.
I know it seems like a lot, but you're gonna thank me later.
Yeah, I'm thanking you now.
And then all we want to do is whip it until it's soft. And the reason that we do this is we're trying to incorporate air into the fat so our tamales are fluffier and soft. All right. So you can see it's almost like
It's like a whipped cream.
It's like a whipped cream,
Yeah.
yes.
More delicious whipped cream.
Definitely more delicious.
Yeah.
We're gonna add our meal flour. And then you will add salt at this point, but since our lard is already seasoned, we're not gonna add any salt. And then we're just gonna let it incorporate it. And at this point, we're gonna add our liquid. This time we have some chicken stock. And then the texture that we want, the runnier your tamal mixture is, the softer your tamal is gonna be.
Okay.
To me, it almost resembles like a soft hummus.
Okay.
You know,
yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
You're gonna see when we put it on the leaf, you kind of want the smear, kind of.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people think that with sometimes tamales like almost like a dough, you know.
Right.
But it's
right.
more of runny.
And when you think about it, the steam kind of dries it.
Yep.
All right, so we are good to go with our dough.
Yeah. Does this come with just consistently working with this and knowing what you're looking for?
You know this with ethnic cuisines, it's not a true recipe to anything.
Yeah.
So it's really about the feel and the texture, and you kind of learn after time what are you looking for.
And I think that makes food so personal, right? Because you have to be involved.
Exactly. So if you see the butter, then you can kind of play with it, and it's just kind of like a smear texture to it.
Yeah, you're right. A soft hummus. That's what I'm thinking of right when I see this, you know?
We're gonna make some pork and chicken tamales.
Okay, you do it first.
So-
Because I get real nervous with the schmear.
With a smear. So
Yeah.
it's very easy. So we're gonna start grabbing it. We're gonna grab a leaf, and then we're just gonna grab a little bit of the dough, and then you just gonna smear all over in there. And then you kind of want to keep it on the middle, and then I'll show you why.
These are corn husks, right?
These are corn husks, yes.
And then you just put them in water to rehydrate them?
I usually use hot water because it just makes it softer and more playable. But that's all you need. So after you have your spread, then we add our stuffing, right?
So this one's the chicken?
That's the chicken.
Yep.
And then you want it to look good. You know, you want it to have some.
Yeah, you want to give it a little, you know.
Yeah. You want to. I mean,
This is a chicken tamale.
that's a
after
chicken
all.
tamale,
Yeah.
right? And then add some extra sauce.
Okay.
And then
For that sauce, that's the sauce you cook it.
right,
The
right,
chicken in.
right. And then you just want to wrap, and then you close it,
Okay. And then you fold the bottom.
and then you fold the bottom, and then you just want to. And then that's why you want to keep it in the center, because if you put it too lower, you won't be able to fold it, and then you put it too high, it will come out.
Okay.
And then we just lay them down on our
Steamer down
on
here.
our steamer. So yeah, give it
I'm gonna
a
try
shot.
it.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I'm kind of nervous, man. And then just like right in the middle here.
Right in the middle.
And then you almost like create like a little bowl in the middle, right?
Right. Yeah. You wanna give them a little bit of space where you like the stuff that you're gonna put in there is gonna be.
Throw
That's
the pork in
perfect.
there.
Yep.
You get the sauce. Tell me a little bit more about tamales and what does it resonate inside of you?
It's mostly for special occasions, right? So we eat them at Christmas. We eat them on birthdays, celebrations. That's pretty much when the tamales come in. The family gets together, everybody, brings something, and then everybody sit down and make tamales. Tamales has a big history in Mexican cuisine. We always say that it's our Mexican energy bar.
Yeah.
It has everything that you need, It has a lot of protein because of the meat, and it has a lot of carbs. They just get you going for the whole day.
How do you know when it's done?
So they steam for about 45 minutes. And then you want to touch them. When they start to feel, it has a point where they get firm, and then they get soft again because of the fat content.
Yeah.
And then they just ready to eat.
Oh, dude. This is one of the most tender, fluffy tamales I've ever had. Because I've had some where it's just like very dense,
Yeah.
But man, that whipping of that lard, and you can taste that. Who taught you how to make tamales?
Well, the funny thing is, I wasn't allowed to be in the kitchen growing up. I grew up in a family where the men would go to work and they would do chores in the field, and the women would stay in the house and cook. And so the meals were always spectacular. But I never learned how to cook from them. I think a lot of the cooking that I do is kind of trying to recreate those memories that I have of the food that I eat. When I start cooking Mexican food, it comes natural. And then you know what you want, so you just keep trying and trying until you get it right.
Yeah, there's almost this like soul care to your own heart when you're doing it.
For me, cooking Mexican food, that's what it's all about. If I'm making a mole, if I'm making tamales, while I'm making this, the memories that come through my head, like the smells, the sensation, that's why I like to cook. The one thing, the tamales, they're also in different shapes. So we're gonna try to do a different shape with this one.
Oh, dude, you got the fancy stuff going.
And then it looks like a little
Cool.
present.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna stick with this one. This is like the one I know.